प्रोफेसर गौरव।
तुमने बैठ गया था
क्लास లో వదినే ఏ ఒరే కెమిస్ట్రీ చదవాలి
Good morning, my dear students. So yesterday we had a discussion about the finite element method, its definition, and the procedure steps of finite element method. And we have seen finite element modeling of one-dimensional problem. So today in this class, I will discuss about the global coordinate system, local coordinate system, natural coordinates. So generalized coordinates are the interpolation functions or shape functions. So stiffness matrix for bar element by direct approach. So what is global coordinate system? So how do we define global coordinate system? So it is a global coordinate system. So in general, it is a Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, this coordinate system is used to define points in the entire structure. It's called a global coordinate system. So it is also defined as the system in which the behavior of complete structure is to be described. Okay. So under this system, we can describe the entire structure or entire the problem domain. So we can describe. Okay. So for example, so this is so this is one of the problem domain. So which is placed in a global coordinate x-axis. So this problem domain, one-dimensional problem domain, so which is placed along the x-axis. Okay. So this x-axis is known as the global coordinate x-axis. Okay. So the origin of this global coordinate x-axis is at O. So this is the origin. So this is the from 1 to 3 is the body or problem domain. Okay. So the node 1, it is located in this global coordinate x-axis at x1. Similarly, node 2 at x2 from origin. So node 3 from origin is x3. So this is another case. It is a the problem domain is a plane truss structure. It is a plane truss structure. So we assume this plane, entire plane truss structure, it is in the global coordinate plane xy. Okay, global coordinate axis xy. Okay. So with reference to this global coordinate system x and y, so we can locate the points on the structure, and also we can describe the field variables and displacements and force components. We can also describe the force components and displacements, etc. Okay. So global coordinate system is the system in which the behavior of complete structure is to be described. Local coordinate system. Okay. So this is a separate coordinate system. So this local coordinate system, it is assigned to the individual elements in the problem domain. Okay. So it is for the convenience we are taking this coordinate system. Okay. So what is our convenience? We can derive the element properties. So in local coordinates, element properties are defined in local coordinate system. Okay. So this local coordinate system aligned with the element axis. Okay. So this local coordinate system aligned with the element axis. So this Sujan, so the purpose of geometric convenience and for simplicity in describing element behavior. So in global coordinate system, so we can describe the entire structure, but in local coordinate system, so we can describe the element behavior only. Okay. So for example, so this is an element 3 in this plane truss structure. So this is the element 3. When we consider individually of this element 3, so x dash and y dash is the local coordinate system. Okay. So this system, it describes the properties of element 3 and any behavior of this element. So it can define in reference to this local coordinate system. So similarly, so this is element 4. So it is assigned to a local coordinate system x dash and y dash. So element 2, element 1. So this is element 1. Okay. So in local coordinate system, so we can describe the element behavior. So what are the natural coordinates? Okay, natural coordinates is nothing but, so in a natural coordinate system is a coordinate system, so which permits the specification of a point within the element by a set of dimensionless numbers, so whose magnitude never exceeds unity. Okay. So natural coordinates always in the range of -1 to 1 or 0 to 1. Okay. Natural coordinates are dimensionless numbers. So either -1 to 1 or 0 to 1. Okay. So this natural coordinate system, it is obtained by assigning a weightages to the nodal points or nodal coordinates. So in defining the coordinate of any point inside the element. Okay. So the use of this national coordinate system is it is advantage in assembling the element properties. So while assembling the element equations, so this coordinate system is very essential, very useful. Okay. So while deriving the stiffness matrices. Okay. So I will explain in detail natural what are the natural coordinates, how it is useful in the next slides. Okay. So for example, so if you consider an element E, okay, its nodes are node 1 and node 2 at the ends of this element. So we assume, so this is in Cartesian coordinate system. Okay. So from origin, the node 1 is located at x1 and node 2 is located at x2. Okay. So this point is an arbitrary point on the element. So its location from origin, it is at x distance. Okay. So this element, so first we assume in the global coordinate system, y and x. Okay. So the same element. So now we assume it is in natural coordinate system. Okay, natural coordinate system. So here the J represents natural coordinate in x direction. So natural coordinates in x direction. Um, so this coordinate varies in between -1 and 1. So here I consider the variation of the natural coordinate J in between -1 and 1. Okay. So at the middle of this element in natural coordinates, so this is 0. Okay, -1, 1 at the end. So at the middle of this element, so the natural coordinate value J is equal to 0. J is equal to 0. Okay. So in this way, we consider the natural coordinates. Okay. So this is the transfer function. This is the transfer function which is used to convert from Cartesian coordinates to natural coordinates. So for this case, so this is the transformation function. So J is equal to 2 by x2 minus x1 into x minus x1 minus 1. So where x2 minus x1, it is the length of the element. So length of the element. So x2 minus x1, length of the element. So in natural coordinates, the length of the element is 2. The length of the element 2. -1 to 1, it is 2 only. Okay. So next, what is shape function or interpolation function? So actually shape functions are used interpolating the displacement field. So interpolating the displacement field within the boundaries of the element. Okay, for example, uh, so this is an one-dimensional element. So on this element, if you know node 1, node 2, at node 1, the displacement u1, at node 2, the displacement u2. Okay, at the ends of the element, u1 and u2 are the known values. Suppose an user or a customer or client, if he asks what is the value of deformation at the in the middle of the element. Okay. So to find that deformation at the middle of the element, so these are the shape functions are essential to find the deformation at the intermediate points on the element. Okay. So this shape functions are denoted as capital N. Okay. In general, so to define shape functions, we are using natural coordinates. Okay. So interpolation function, which are actually predetermined known functions of the independent variables. So here the independent variable is x. For example, in case of one-dimensional problem, the independent variable is x. Okay. So interpolation functions or shape functions are predetermined known functions of independent variables, and these interpolation functions can describe the variation of the field variable. So in solid mechanics problems, the speed variable is displacement. So the variation of field variable, so within the element, within the finite element. So using these shape functions, you can find the variation of field variable within the finite element. Okay. So now let us discuss how to derive the shape functions. Okay. So here in this class, I will discuss shape functions derivations in two ways. So shape functions in Cartesian coordinate system, shape functions in natural coordinate system. So first of all, I will discuss shape functions in Cartesian coordinates. Okay. So let us assume an element which is in the global coordinate system. Say element node 1, node 2. Okay, it is subjected by point loads F1 at node 1, F2 at node 2. Okay. So let us assume Q1 and Q2. Q1 and Q2 are the displacement at nodal points. Okay. So x1 is, x1 is the distance from origin to node 1. x2 is the distance from origin to node 2. So therefore, the length of the element is x2 minus x1. Okay. So this element, we have to assume it is part of the total domain. It is part of the elastic body, one-dimensional elastic body. Okay.
సార్ కొంతమంది బయట వెయిట్ చేస్తున్నారు సార్ చెప్పమన్నా
Admit చేశాను.
సార్
Okay, so it is part of the problem domain or elastic body, one-dimensional elastic body. So it is subjected by only axial forces. So when it is one-dimensional body, so it is only subjected by axial forces. Okay, so this element, it is called as bar element or two-node bar element or elastic bar element. So there are different names for this element. Okay. Or axial bar element. Okay. So now let us assume displacement function u of x. So u of x, so for this on this element, it is a linear polynomial function. U of x is a linear polynomial function. Okay, so we assume u of x is a linear polynomial function, one-dimensional polynomial function as a field variable. So therefore u of x is equal to a1 plus a2x. Okay, so in this u of x function, we need to find coefficients a1 and a2, okay, using boundary conditions on the element. So here the boundary conditions we consider on this element at x equal to x1. So the displacement, the specified displacement is q1. At x equal to x2, the specified displacement q2. So we have two boundary conditions on this element. So these are the two boundary conditions. So now, so this u of x, it must satisfy the boundary conditions. Okay. So at x equal to x1, u of x equal to q1. So q1 is equal to a1 plus a2 x1. So q2 is equal to a1 plus a2 x2. Okay, solve out these two equations. Therefore, q1 minus q2 is equal to a2 into x1 minus x2. So therefore, a2 is equal to q2 minus q1 by x2 minus x1. So therefore, from equation 1, a1 is equal to q1 minus a2 x1. So at last, a1 is equal to, after simplification of a1, so therefore a1 is equal to q1 x2 minus q2 x1 by x2 minus x1. So now you substitute a1 and a2 coefficients in the displacement function u of x. So that is our required solution. Okay, so q1 x2 minus q2 x1 by x2 minus x1 is a1. So this is a2. So simplify this equation. So after simplifying the equation, so q1, so multiplied with some function, plus q2 multiplied with some function. So these two functions are called shape functions. So x2 minus x by x2 minus x1. So this shape function, it belongs to node 1 on element. So this shape function belongs to node 2. Okay, so this function n1 of x, it is belongs to node 1, n2 of x belongs to node 2. So therefore, u of x is equal to q1 n1 plus q2 n2. So now the displacement function u of x, so initially we assume it is a polynomial with unknown coefficients a1 plus a2x. So now, so this displacement function in terms of shape functions n1 and n2 and nodal displacements q1 and q2. Nodal displacement q1 and q2. Okay. So therefore, if you write this equation in matrix notation, so u of x is equal to, so shape function matrix, it is always row matrix. So n1 of x, n2 of x. You know, deformation vector, it is always column matrix q1, q2. Okay. So u of x is equal to shape function matrix into nodal displacement vector. So where n, so row matrix of interpolation functions. So q is the column matrix of nodal displacements. Okay, so in this way, in Cartesian coordinate system, in this way we derive the shape functions n1 of x and n2 of x. So now, so let us discuss shape functions in natural coordinates. Shape functions in natural coordinates z. Okay, so you know element, it is in Cartesian coordinate system. So this same element, it is in natural coordinate system. Okay. So this is transformation function. So using this transformation function, so now we have to derive the shape functions in natural coordinates. So using this transformation function to derive the shape function, it is a little bit difficult. So instead of that, So here I am introducing some procedure, that is monomial procedure. So in this monomial based procedure, so it is very simple to find the shape functions in natural coordinates. So in this procedure, we consider the monomial terms. So the monomial terms are zero at non-associated nodes. So for example, if we want to find the shape function n1 at node 1, so this n1, for this n1, so node 1 is a associated node, node 2 is a non-associated node. Okay, so node 1 is associated node, node 2 is non-associated node for n1. Okay, so to find n1, we need to multiply a constant term into monomial term. So here the monomial term is at node 2, the monomial term is 1 minus j. So 1 minus j is equal to 0. So this 1 minus j at node 2 is equal to 0. Monomial term are 0 at non-associated nodes. Okay, so therefore, to find constant c, at node 1, we know the values of shape function at node 1. At its own node, I will discuss the properties of shape function. So after discussing this derivation, according to the property of shape function, the value of shape function at its own node. So for n1, the own node is 1. So at its own node, its value is always 1. Okay. So at node 1, the natural coordinate j is equal to -1. Okay. So if you substitute these two values in this relation, you will get the constant c is equal to 1 by 2. So therefore, shape function n1 is equal to 1 minus j by 2. Similarly, n2, natural shape function n2 at node 2. So constant c into, so here for this n2, the monomial term at node 1, it is 1 plus j is equal to 0. 1 plus j is equal to 0. Okay. So at node 2, n2 is equal to 1. At its own node, n2 value 1. So j is equal to 1. At node 2, j is equal to 1. So therefore, c is equal to again 1 by 2. So therefore, n2 is equal to 1 plus j by 2. So in this way, we have to find out the shape functions in natural coordinates. So now, so let us discuss the properties of shape functions. So prescribed conditions of shape functions are properties of shape function or characteristics of shape functions. So whatever it may be, shape functions properties. So first property is each shape function has a value of 1 at its own node. Okay, the value of shape function at its own node is 1. At other nodes, the value of shape function 0. Okay, for example, n1, so n1 at node 1 is equal to, and n1 at node 1 is equal to, sorry, n1 at node 1 is equal to 1. At node 2, n1 value is 0. At node 2, n1 value 0. Okay. So similarly, at node 2, n2 value 1. At node 2, n2 value 1. At node 1, N2 value 0. N2 value 0. So this is one property. So second property is summation of the shape functions must be equal to 1. So N1 plus N1 plus N2. N1 plus N2 is equal to 0. So in the case of two node bar element, so N1 plus N2 is equal to 0. Okay, for other elements, summation of all shape functions. Summation of all shape functions. For example, if you consider 2D triangular element, 2D triangular element. So on that element, total number of shape functions are 3, N1, N2, N3. So summation of all shape functions must be equal to, sorry, here N1 plus N2 is equal to 1, not 0. Okay. So third property, so both shape functions and field variable functions are always same order of the polynomial function. Okay. So the field variable function u of x, so u of x ఏ పాలినామియల్ ఫంక్షన్ తీసుకుంటే అదే సేమ్ ఆర్డర్ షేప్ ఫంక్షన్స్ ఆర్ ఆల్సో ఇన్ ద సేమ్ ఆర్డర్. సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ u of x field variable linear polynomial function. Okay, so shape function n1 is also a linear polynomial function. So n1 it is x2 minus x by x2 minus x1. Okay, so the power of x is 1, the linear polynomial. Similarly, n2 of x, so the power of x in this function is 1. Okay. So fourth property, so summation of the first derivative of the shape functions. Summation of the first derivative of shape function with respect to independent variables is equal to 0. So that is, so this is second property, this is third property. Fourth property, so differentiate this shape function n1 with respect to x. So d by dx of x2 minus x by x2 minus x1 is equal to minus 1 by x2 minus x1. So d by dx of n2 of x, so this is 1 by x2 minus x1. So the summation of these two equations is always equal to 0. So first derivative of the shape function summation is equal to 0. Okay, fifth property. So first derivatives of the shape functions, so must be finite value within an element. So first derivative of the shape function n1 d by dx of n1, so minus 1 by x2 minus x1, it's a finite value. Okay, so here no variable in this value, it is a numerical value. Okay, minus 1 by element length x2 minus x1. Okay, similarly, d by dx of n2, it is 1 by x2 minus x1, numerical value. And the sixth property, the shape functions need to satisfy the displacements, so they must be continuous across the element boundary. Okay, from element to element, so the shape functions should be continuous functions. Okay, these are the 6 properties of shape functions. So n1 of j 1 minus j by 2, n2 of j 1 plus j by 2. Shape functions in natural coordinates. Okay, so this figure shows the variation of shape function n1 over an element. So at node 1, so the value of n1, it is maximum 1 unit, n1 is equal to 1. So at node 2, it is 0. So in between node 1 and 2, so the variation of n1 is linear. It varies linearly. Okay, so because so natural coordinate j, power of natural coordinate j is 1. So similarly, variation of n2 over a length of the element. So at node 1, its value is 0. At node 2, its value 1. Okay. So in between it varies. It is also varies linear. So now the displacement function. The displacement function, it is in terms of shape functions and nodal displacement q1 and q2. Okay, so the u deformation at node 1, it is equal to q1. So because if you substitute n1 value and n2 value at node 1, so at node 1, n1 is equal to 1, n2 is equal to 0. So therefore, so u is equal to q1. So similarly, at node 2, n1 is equal to 0, n2 is equal to 1. So therefore, u is equal to q2. Okay. So in between node 1 and 2, this deformation, it also varies linear. So this is the matrix notation of the deformation function. U is equal to shape function matrix into nodal displacement vector. So n1, n2, column. Okay. So shape functions are not only used for describe the deformation over a length. So shape functions can also be used for describe the x values, independent variables. So independent variable can also be described by using this shape functions. So this x is equal to n1 x1 plus n2 x2. Okay. So this kind of usage of shape function n1 n2. So this is known as isoparametric coordination. Isoparametric coordination. Okay. So here we are using the same shape functions for finding deformations and also for finding independent variable x. So after getting knowledge about shape functions, let us do one problem on this concept. Okay, so this is the problem. So referring to figure, so this is an element which is in global coordinate x-axis. Node 1 is located at 21 inches, node 2 located at 36 inches from origin. So where P is an arbitrary point which is located from origin at 24 inches. So in this problem, first you evaluate natural coordinate j and shape function n1, shape function n2 at arbitrary point P. And in the second bit, if we know deformations at node 1 and node 2, q1 is equal to 0.003 inches, q2 minus 0.005 inches. So determine the value of the displacement q at point P. Okay. So first you solve the a bit. Okay. So now we assume, so this element, it is in natural coordinate j. So if it is in natural coordinate j, So at node 1 the J value is -1. At node 2 J value 1. But we don't know the value of J at point P.
సార్
చెప్పండి.
సార్ న్యాచురల్ కోఆర్డినేట్ లోకల్ కోఆర్డినేట్ చాలా ఉన్నాయి కదా సార్, అది ఏ కోఆర్డినేట్ అని ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది?
న్యాచురల్ కోఆర్డినేట్
లోకల్ కోఆర్డినేట్ అని ఇప్పుడు చెప్పారు కదా సార్ 3
సో
అది ఏ కోఆర్డినేట్ అని ఎలా సార్ తెలుస్తుంది?
ఇప్పుడు అది మనం ఫస్ట్ స్లైడ్స్ లో క్లియర్ గా డిఫైన్ చేసుకున్నాం. గ్లోబల్ కోఆర్డినేట్ సిస్టమ్ అంటే అది ఫిక్స్డ్ కోఆర్డినేట్ సిస్టమ్. ఆ కోఆర్డినేట్ సిస్టంలో మనం ఎంటైర్ ప్రాబ్లం డొమైన్ని ఎజ్యూమ్ చేసుకుంటాం. ఓకే అండి, ప్రాబ్లం మొత్తం అంతటిని, ఆ స్ట్రక్చర్ని అంతటిని ఆ కోఆర్డినేట్ సిస్టంలో ఎజ్యూమ్ చేసుకుంటాం. ఓకే అండి, లోకల్ కోఆర్డినేట్ అనేసరికి అది ఎలిమెంట్ మీదకి వస్తుంది. సో
మెజర్మెంట్ వస్తుందా?
అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇది లోకల్ కోఆర్డినేట్ సిస్టమ్. ఇది ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఎలిమెంట్ అన్నది గ్లోబల్ కోఆర్డినేట్ సిస్టంలో ఉందండి. ఎందుకని గ్లోబల్ కోఆర్డినేట్ సిస్టమ్ అన్నానంటే, ఇప్పుడు దీని నోడ్ 1 లొకేషన్ ఎక్కడి నుంచి చెప్తున్నాడు? నోడ్ 1 లొకేషన్ ఎక్కడి నుంచి చెప్తున్నాడు? ఆరిజిన్ నుంచి చెప్తున్నాడు. ఇప్పుడు ఈ గ్లోబల్ ఎక్స్ యాక్సిస్ ఆరిజిన్ ఇక్కడ ఎక్కడో ఉంటది, అవునా? సో అక్కడి నుంచి దాని లొకేషన్ చెప్తున్నాడు 20 ఇంచెస్ అని చెప్తున్నాడు. అంటే ఇది ఈ ఎక్స్ యాక్సిస్ అన్నది గ్లోబల్ ఎక్స్ యాక్సిస్. అదే నువ్వు లోకల్ కోఆర్డినేట్ సిస్టమ్ తీసుకోవాలనుకో, సో కరెక్ట్గా ఎలిమెంట్ నోడ్ 1 దగ్గర ఆరిజిన్ తీసుకుంటాం. సో దాని ఎక్స్ యాక్సిస్, లోకల్ కోఆర్డినేట్ ఎక్స్ యాక్సిస్ ఎక్స్ డాష్ ని, సో దాన్ని ఎగ్జాక్ట్ గా ఎలిమెంట్ యాక్సిస్ కి అసైన్ అయ్యేటట్టుగా తీసుకుంటాం.
దానికి ఇలా మెజర్మెంట్స్ ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది సార్? ఎక్కడి నుంచి ఎంత ఉంటుంది? అక్కడ నుంచి
మెజర్మెంట్ ఇప్పుడు ఆరిజిన్ ఇక్కడ లోకల్ కోఆర్డినేట్ ఎక్స్ యాక్సిస్ ఆరిజిన్ నోడ్ 1 దగ్గర తీసుకున్నాం అంటే, సో ఇక్కడ 0. ఇక్కడ ఈ ఎండ్కి వచ్చే నోడ్ 2 దగ్గరికి వచ్చేసరికి ఆ ఎలిమెంట్ లెంత్ ఎంత ఉందో అది ఆ వాల్యూ అవుతుంది. ఇక్కడ ఎక్స్ డాష్ ఇజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు 0 అండి నోడ్ 1 దగ్గర. ఎక్స్ డాష్ అట్ నోడ్ 2 ఆ ఎలిమెంట్ లెంత్ ఎంత ఉంటుంది అంతే. ఇక్కడ ఎలిమెంట్ లెంత్ ఎంత? 36 మైనస్ 20. 36 మైనస్ 20, సో 16 ఇంచెస్ ఈజ్ ద ఎలిమెంట్ లెంత్. అది లోకల్ కోఆర్డినేట్స్ లో మాట్లాడుకుంటాం. ఇప్పుడు న్యాచురల్ కోఆర్డినేట్ అన్నది ఏంటంటే ఈ ఎంటైర్ ఎలిమెంట్ ని సో న్యాచురల్ కోఆర్డినేట్స్ లో పెట్టుకుంటాం. అంటే న్యాచురల్ కోఆర్డినేట్స్ ఆల్వేస్ -1 to 1 తీసుకోవాలి, లేకపోతే 0 to 1 తీసుకుంటాం. అది కన్వీనియన్స్ బట్టి తీసుకుంటాం అండి. సో న్యాచురల్ కోఆర్డినేట్స్ ఎప్పుడు మోర్ దాన్ 1 అనేది తీసుకోకూడదు. ఓకే, సో జై అనేది ఎక్స్ రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తుంది. సో దాని కోఆర్డినేట్స్ ఎప్పుడు -1 to 1 కానీ 0 to 1 కానీ. మీరు తీసుకున్న ఆ న్యాచురల్ కోఆర్డినేట్స్ని బట్టి మీరు ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఫంక్షన్ ఉంటుంది. మళ్ళీ ఇప్పుడు నేను ఇక్కడ -1 to 1 తీసుకున్నాను న్యాచురల్ కోఆర్డినేట్స్, కాబట్టి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఫంక్షన్ నాకు ఏమైంది? ఇది 2 into x minus x1 by x2 minus x1 minus 1. సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ -1 to 1 కాదండి, నేను 0 to 1 తీసుకుంటాను. సో 0 to 1 తీసుకున్నప్పుడు ఈ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఫంక్షన్ చేంజ్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే అండి, మీరు అక్కడ న్యాచురల్ కోఆర్డినేట్ డెఫినేషన్ చూడండి. ఆ న్యాచురల్ కోఆర్డినేట్స్ని ఎలా తీసుకోవాలంటే, మనం ఈ నోడల్ పాయింట్స్ దగ్గర వెయిటేజెస్ ఇవ్వాలి. ఆ వెయిటేజెస్ ఏంటంటే ఇవి -1 1. ఓకే అండి, అర్థమైందా? ఇప్పుడు ఇది గ్లోబల్ కోఆర్డినేట్ సిస్టంలో ఉంది, అవునా? కానీ ఇక్కడ మనం న్యాచురల్ కోఆర్డినేట్ జై ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాలి, n1 n2 ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఓకే అండి, సో టు ఫైండ్ జై వీ హ్యావ్ రిలేషన్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఫంక్షన్ 2 by ఎలిమెంట్ లెంత్ ఇంటూ x minus x1 minus 1. Okay, so here element length is 16, 2 by 16. X is So arbitrary point location, P location 24 inches from origin, 24 minus x1 20. So minus 1. So J at the arbitrary point P is equal to minus 0.5. అంటే మిడిల్ పాయింట్ కి లెఫ్ట్ సైడే ఉంది. సో అట్ ద మిడిల్ పాయింట్ J is equal to 0. Element middle point J is equal to 0. Okay. Shape functions. So n1 is equal to 0.75. So what is the relation for n1 in natural coordinates? 1 minus J
సార్ n1 వాల్యూ ఎడ్యూమ్ చేసుకోవాలా లేకపోతే దాని క్వశ్చన్ వేస్తారు సార్?
n1 మనకి n1 ఫంక్షన్ ఉంది కదండి, 1 మైనస్ జై బై 2, అది న్యాచురల్ కోఆర్డినేట్స్. అదే కార్టీషియన్ కోఆర్డినేట్స్ లో అయితే x2 మైనస్
x1 by 2 సార్.
x2 మైనస్ x బై x2 మైనస్ x1 ఎలిమెంట్ లెంత్. మీరు ఇలా అయినా ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయొచ్చండి. అక్కడ నేను ఆల్రెడీ ఇక్కడ అట్ ద పాయింట్ పి జై వాల్యూ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేశాను కాబట్టి నేను n1 ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయడానికి న్యాచురల్ కోఆర్డినేట్స్లో షేప్ ఫంక్షన్ తీసుకున్నాను. ఓకే అండి. సో 1 మైనస్ 0.5 అంటే ఎంతండి? 1 plus 0.5, 1.5 by 2. So 1.5 by 2 is equal to 0.75. So n2 value, this is n1. So n2, it is 1 plus j by 2. So 1 minus 0.5 by 2 and 0.5 by 2. So n2 is 0.25. Okay. So next, so deformation at the point P. You know the relation U is equal to n1 q1 plus n2 q2. So this is U of x is equal to n1 q1 plus n2 q2. So at point P, n1 is equal to 0.75, n2 is equal to 0.25. So at node 1, displacement q1 0.003, at node 2, displacement minus 0.005. So therefore at point P, this is the deformation. Okay. So then, so do you have any doubts? So I will discuss the stiffness matrix for bar element by direct approach in the next class. So these are the expected questions. So first question is explain the terms global coordinate system, local coordinate system, and natural coordinates. So define shape function and its use. So define stiffness matrix. This is not yet discussed in this class. This is also not discussed. Okay. The same problem. Mano discuss chesin problem idi. So next you try this problem at your home. So second problem you try cheyandi. So try cheyicha ఏమైనా కష్టం ఉందా ఇక్కడ? Consider the bar as shown in figure. Cross section area 1.2 inches square and Young's modulus E. So deformations at node 1, node 2. So determine the displacement at point P. Okay, you can determine. Okay. So you skip this one and this one and this one also. Okay. So in this problem you find this displacement at point P. So do you have any doubts? Please. My doubts level. Okay. Thank you very much.